that we will be getting covered in the AWS course, in our course. And what are the projects that we will be doing? It's a demo section actually, so I'll be walking you through what are the topics and core concepts of AWS will be getting covered in this course. So initially we will be getting covered some fundamentals of data engineering. So it covers the type of data, and when you what are the properties of data, how you can decide a tool. So what are the prerequisites that you should be having, so that get covered here in the data engineering fundamental part. And also you should be having, we are expecting you are having some sort of knowledge in SQL as well as Python. Spark, PySpark is the one which we will be using. It's a Spark framework. So then what we will do it is, we will be creating programs which can be executed in EMR or any kind of map reduce frameworks, that will be getting created, and we'll be executing that one. So prerequisite is, we are considering you should be knowing the basic core level knowledge of SQL and Python. These two are the prerequisites for this course. And if you're having a good knowledge of Spark or big data technologies, that will be an add-on. And after that we will be covering uh, the storage solutions that we are having inside AWS. And after that we will be moving on to databases. We'll be covering NoSQL DB, Document DB, as well as RDSs inside, and Redshift also inside the database section. And coming to data migration and transfer, we will be seeing the services which is available in AWS, such as DMS, or like no family. So some migration, what are if you want to move an existing data from your on-prem system to AWS cloud, what are the solution that we are having? So that we will be seeing here. And in terms of computation also, we'll be seeing all the available services, and container analytics and application integration. So all these subdomains we'll be seeing what are the available services that we are having. And after that we will be seeing, it's a part of this course, right? Whenever we are learning about the services like storage, database, or whatever it is, we will be walking you through the security as well. Okay, so the security and the network, and what are the developer tools that you can use. So once we finish this one, we will be moving on to the management and the governance part. So how you can manage your data, how you can apply uh, the compliance, and how you can governance your data. So this is what we are going to do in this entire course. And coming to the services that we cover, initially we will be learning about the analytics part. Okay, so the analytics part, we will be covering EMR, lake formation, Redshift, Kinesis, Glue, and Kafka, OpenSite, QuickSite, and Athena. So these are the things we will be covering as part of the analytics tech stack. And for the for the app integration, we will be covering the step function, app flow, SQS, Airflow, and event bridge. And coming to the computation, we will be we are having both serverless and server based computation. So we'll be covering both, like AWS batch, EC2, Lambda, and serverless application repositories. And coming to the containers, we will be creating some images, and we will be running it in ECS, and we will be registering that, or like placing that image inside our repository, that is ECR. And we'll be running it in a containerized format using cluster based format inside, by using Kubernetes. So these are the main things actually. So here in the containerization flow, right, we will not be walking you through the entire from the scratch, but as part of the data engineers, right, what you should know, that we will be covering. We will be creating a job, we'll be containerize it, and we'll be creating an image, and that image we will be running it in an ECR. And with that image we will be bringing up an ECS. Okay, so that's what we will be doing. And coming to databases, This main thing we'll be covering all the databases, different type of databases, the document DB, DynamoDB, Redis, and RDS, Neptune, and key spaces. So also Redshift. Okay, so these are the different things that we will be getting covered in the course. This will be get covered, I mean, in depth, including the performance and optimization and all. And coming to the developer tools, we will be covering how you can integrate your AWS account, the CLI, and Cloud9, how you can make use of CDK and code deploy, code build, and code commit, and code pipeline. So these are the developer tools that we will be covering. And coming to the management and governance, we will be seeing like cloud formation. If you are using like a Terraform, that would be also fine. So uh, we here we will be covering AWS cloud formation for the infra, and CloudTrail, CloudWatch, and System Manager config, and AWS managed Grafana. So these are the things that we will be getting covered when it comes to the governance part. And coming to the migration and transfer, we will be seeing DMS, database migration service, and Snow family, transfer family, data sync, and application discovery and application migration service. These are the different services that we will be discovering in terms of migration and data transfer. And coming to the services that we learn for the networking and the content delivery, we will be learning about these are the core concepts. So we will be walking you through this one in terms of data engineering. Okay, so private link, Route 53, and VPC, and CloudFront. So these are the base network concepts. So we will be walking you through that as well. And coming to the security uh, compliance, here what we will be doing, we will be, in each time when we create any resources, we will be telling what is the best way you can create, what are the roles or what are the functionality that is required, that alone we will be giving, so that we will be adding it from our IAM. And all the keys, right, we can store it in a secret manager. So how we can store the key inside the secret manager, or credentials inside secret manager, and you can access it, we will be getting covered. And the by default it will be having an encryption if you're storing in some data inside S3. Apart from that, if you want to enhance your security, you can have a different key based mechanism, so that we will be getting covered when we uh, deal with any many resources here. That's a part of the KMS. So and encryption, that also will be getting covered. And maze, shield, and WAF, these are all the security purpose we will be using it, so that also getting covered. So these are the higher level overview of what are the services we will be getting covered. And coming to the storage, we are covering AWS backup, S3, EFS, and EBS. So these are the different storages that we are having, so we will be getting covered that as well. Okay, so any doubts or clarification required in the services, what we will cover in this course, you can ask me.
So, hi, Libin, Satya here. I hope I'm audible, right?
Ah, yes, yes, you are audible. Tell me,
Yeah.
Satya.
So, yeah, Libin, coming to my question, that what are the data sources you are going to consider while handling streaming and batching
Mhm.
using Kinesis services and others related services?
Okay.
So, I went through the course content. I think almost services what AWS is offering, you are considering for ingestion.
Hmm.
So, since it is completely cloud, so what are the available sources in your place to handle
Okay.
with that? That's I want to understand first how you are
Okay.
handling streaming and batching together, and
Mhm.
also how the security challenges. So that's like this. Can you give some insights on that? That's what
Sure, sure.
I'm saying.
So coming to the sources, we are having our own in place API that is like 1 million records per second. So to say like, okay, high level flow, like to the optimization part. So we will be walking you through that. So from the API, we will be getting some data that we will be processing using EMR and get stored into S3. And in the batching, we will be creating some, we will be putting files, you can consider tipco job or something. Okay, so that place your files into your S3, so from there we will be reading. Okay, so file types can be.
I think you have a equipment of source databases which can produce millions of rows considering either batch or stream that you can handle, right, during this training. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, absolutely fine. Good, good, good.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. So, any other doubts or any other clarification required, Satya?
Yeah, I'm fine for now. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So I am Bidan.
Yeah.
My query is that during EMR you will be writing PySpark query or Python script. So how it is or what is so any prerequisite knowledge on Python or some other language. So this is my query.
Yeah, Python prerequisites will be really helpful. I'll be covering PySpark. We'll be writing PySpark codes only into EMR. And Python prerequisites, it is very good. If you're having some Python knowledge, it will be easy for you to understand. I recommend if you're having at least the core knowledge of Python, it is required. Then only it will be benefit for you.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, and coming to the fundamentals, what we will get covered in the fundamentals. So here we will be learning about the type of data. We are having different types of data, so it's like structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So we'll be taking an example and we will be seeing, and we'll be learning about exactly what the properties meant. So people are considering there are like four properties, so I'll be taking three only here in terms of this course. So like velocity and volume and variety. So one more it is there, veracity. So we will be considering these three. Why? In the sense these three are required for us to choose any one of the services. So if you see here, we are having different services, right? So like when you want to process something, you can process it using Lambda, you can process it using EMR, or you can process it using any EC2, or you can write glue jobs. So anything, right? We are having different services which is offered by AWS. So we have to choose the right service for our use case. So for that, we should be knowing what is the volume, what is the velocity, and what is the variety of our data. Based on this only, we will be choosing an appropriate service. So we'll be covering these three for our properties of data. And there is a core concepts that you have to understand, like a data warehouse and a data lake and data lake house. Okay, so these are the three main concepts that you should be understanding. So I'll be walking you through this and what exactly it meant by data warehouse or data lake or data lake house, so giving an understanding about the core concepts. And then moving to ETL jobs, so what exactly the ETL jobs meant and how the pipeline works. And we will be learning about the different sources, kind of like ODBC, API, streams, or raw logs, and the JDBC connections, and different type of file formats as well. Can be like JSON, Avro, Pocket, and all. And I will be walking you through the data modeling part in both SQL DB as well as in NoSQL DB. And data lineage. What is the importance of data lineage? That's what like we'll be covering inside it. And the schema evolution. So currently you'll not be able to depend purely on like predefined schemas. So we'll be learning about like how you can define that in the schema evolution part. And database optimization, how you can optimize your DB, kind of like indexing, partitioning, and compression part also will be getting covered. And data sampling, we are having different data sampling methods, so we'll be learning about that as well to analyze the performance of our DB. And coming to data skewness, so how we can handle the data skewness, and how you can validate and profile your data. And a basics of, a quick overview of the SQL, so what are required. So with the like aggregate functions, so just an overview of that, not an higher level overview as is the prerequisites. Then also I will be getting covered the base part that is required, so the join part and all, so we'll be getting covered that. And moving on to the Git, we will be covering Git in a higher overview, so that is required. So then we will be learning about that. Then after this section, we are having a section for the PySpark as well. So that is like at one or two sections, in to give you a higher level overview about like what PySpark and what is the syntax and how does it work, and the base concepts like RDD, data frame, and all, and the streaming jobs, and just to give an higher level overview, we will be covering PySpark. And after that, this is the exact place where we are getting moved into AWS. Okay, so when we moved into AWS, what we follow in each section, it is we will be covering, the course structure will be like, initially we will be covering the main, the theoretical part. So what exactly and what is the use cases and what are the path that you should give, and is there any limitations that is having, that will be getting covered, and security terms and the bucket policies. So not bucket, said security terms. So till that we'll be getting covered for each services. So initially, an a theoretical part along with the limitations and the best practices will be covered in the theoretical part. After that, we will be seeing it in a real time with an example. Okay, so this is how the course will follow for everything. So initially we are taking one thing. So if you consider this S3, in S3 we are having buckets, right? So in buckets having some limitation, you will not be able to go ahead and directly create bucket. It's having some limitation. So what are the limitation? What is the naming convention? So this part will be getting covered, and like what is an object, and how you can access it. So all this part will be getting covered in a theoretical way. Then we are going into console and we will be seeing it in a real time. Okay, and coming to the access policies, same. So, and when it comes to kind of like, we will be splitting up, taking in S3 initially. So when you take S3 initially, how it will goes like, we are having different use cases, right? We will take one use cases and we will be considering the theoretical part. Then we will be moving on to one by one. Okay, so like inside S3 we are having, as you know, like buckets and objects. These are the common thing that you might all be aware about. Then we will be considering the security. So coming to the security, we are having different things. So the access level policies and bucket level policies, everything it is there. So that will get covered with an example. Then we will be once we learn the theoretical part, then we move to the practical section. Then only we move to the another concept within S3. Okay, that is versioning. Then we will be seeing about replication and different storage classes. And after that, we'll be learning about the cost as well. So what is the cost for each one? So when you need to choose the correct class or storage solution for your use case, and we'll compare the prices. Then we will be moving on to the life cycle. Okay, then the event notification. Then we will be doing kind of like an example, not an end-to-end project. So an example project with S3. Okay, only with S3. Then when we move and learn about, these are the encryption. So this is also in the same pattern we will learn. Then when we move to Lambda, right, or any other storage solution, consider like we learned about EBS, EFS, and S3. Now we are learning about Lambda. So when we learn about Lambda, we will create a project that includes S3 plus Lambda, only these two services. Okay, coming to glue, then we will be introducing Lambda, S3, and glue. Okay, so this is how the project goes. And finally we will be doing an one end-to-end project, which is we are having different solutions for that. Then we will be discussing and we will be figuring out and we will be designing the model, and end-to-end project we will be doing. Okay, in the last section. So this is how the course flow actually. uh, any other do you need any other confirmation on how the
Yeah.
course?
Libin,
Yeah.
so how you are going to provide cloud infrastructure in AWS platform?
uh,
What is your plan on that?
okay, so that is like, we are having a paid account. So if you most of the services will get covered in the free infra. You can create an AWS account,
Hmm.
and you can access it with the guidance. Actually, I will tell you what services that you can use in a free tier, or like if you are using a paid one, how much will it charge. Okay, so if you're following exactly with me, it will be somewhere around like, if you are I mean following the correct instruction, it will be less than like less than $20. Okay.
Okay, that's a good, no problem. Then it
Yeah.
is the case. No
Yeah.
problem.
You have to take it, I mean manage it your own, but you have to follow it correctly. Else like you will be ending up I mean the more cost. Okay, so if you are bringing up a cluster and if you are not terminating within the time, then like it is like pay as you go. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Any other Satya?
Yeah, I'm fine. Libin. So, what is your experience in AWS stack, building end-to-end data pipelines like an architect?
Yeah, it's 6 years.
Okay. Okay. So, you are pretty much involved in streaming of batching and streaming of ingestion services,
Yeah, I'm
as
working
well
as a
as.
multi-cloud architect. So like I have experience in AWS, Azure, and GCP.
Mhm.
And coming to the data engineering stack, I have experience starting from working with uh, like the on-prem systems, like this not only like into this emerging cloud technology, but as well as like Hortonworks. I started with Hortonworks actually. So then it
Mhm.
moved to Cloudera. Then only
Mhm.
this cloud came. So have like experience on these three. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I think I will be basically I'm from Databricks background, Lipin actually. I
Okay.
have 5 years of experience in Databricks,
Uh-huh.
but I am preferring to join this course. So I need to have a hands-on coding practice in AWS stack. So
Mhm.
I should be able to work Kinesis Lambda services for any handling streaming jobs. I don't have experience in streaming
Okay.
and app flow services using batch oriented, and
Mhm.
also I need to work with also glue cataloging, how the data governance is handling across all the data pipelines using glue cataloging, how we are ensuring data security, data quality, metadata management. So, and also EMR framework. I want to explore that, and especially it's all about data engineering field. But after that, how we are handling data warehousing using in Redshift, especially,
Okay.
and where how we are building dimension modeling and data mart, and how it is going to be consumed for BA reporting. That end-to-end flow, I need to explore, especially AWS services, because Databricks is the only one tool. From I need to explore all these AWS services. That's why I'm preferring to join this course for especially for hands-on coding. That's more important. But
Yeah.
theoretically, I'm a bit aware of all this. But I need to do more hands-on coding practice. That is the my choice. That's what I joined.
Okay. So like coming to the coding part, I mean, I'll be taking a like a section and showing you how you can interact with services, how you can integrate
Yeah,
all.
because I know handling millions of rows at the data source level not so easy job. That's why I asked you how you are handling data source level systems, like where you are organizing millions of rows just within seconds of how we are streaming millions of rows, and
Hmm.
how we are collating with the batch data which we are handling from other services. So that's flow I need to explore more also.
Hmm.
I'm expecting you have all this equipment, cloud equipment, to handle all this in real time data.
Correct.
That's
Like
what I'm.
we will be building actually. So initially we will be creating a DB. Okay. Then like we will be ingesting these millions of records into our DB, like from our one flow.
Hmm.
Then that flow only we will be making use. So you will be getting a complete understanding about that. Okay.
Hmm.
Now,
So generally, suppose if it is a real industry or client project, we have access to SAP, Salesforce, CRM, other systems actually in
great.
live environment.
Hmm.
So right now we are in training mode. So how we are handling live environments in terms of source systems? What is the source system exactly? That's what I'm trying to understand over here.
So the source system, it is kind of like the trading data. Okay.
Trading data.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
kind of we are getting it from the kite if you are know like the Seroda platform. So we are getting it
Mhm.
from okay.
That data can be exposed to public or any other security challenges over here.
No security. It is like even if you go to Yahoo Finance or some other place, you will be able to get the data. Okay.
So millions of data can be explored to public also. That's what you're saying,
It
without
is
having any security issues.
no security. It is widely available. It is the stock market data to be that you
Yeah,
cannot.
even the pilot data also fine. We don't need to work on real time industry data. That is not needed. Only for our hands-on coding, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
finally, we need data only. That's it.
That's it. Okay. So we'll be taking that and exploring it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are from which location? Hyderabad or any other?
No, no, no. I based out of Bangalore.
Okay, okay. I'm also from Bangalore.
Okay, cool.
I'm fine now, living. If any others any questions you can do.
Okay, sure. Anyone have any other doubts regarding the course flow, like how we are progress, or like what technology will it cover or not? Like any questions, if you guys have, you can ask me now. So happy to answer that as well.
So I have a question. So basically, from where you will start and how you will progress?
So as I said, like we will be starting from the fundamentals, like so fundamentals in the sense, like we'll starting from what type of
Different
data,
type of data.
uh, what
Okay.
type of data you will be getting from that way.
Libin, we lost your voice and your voice is low.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Any other questions with it?
No, no. Means we'll be understanding different type of datas. Then gradually we'll come to the streaming part, right?
Streaming part and all will come to the mid of the session. Like we'll not directly jump into streaming and all. We will be starting from the very basic. Okay, like how you
Mm.
can create an S3, go and we'll be exploring everything into the console. Okay, like manually we are going and doing one by one. Then later on only we will be bringing up the services with our code. Okay, then after that only we will be bringing up with the stack. We'll be coding and bringing up things with the cloud formation or like terraform. We'll be using infrastructure as a service, right? So the infrastructures we will be building using some other tools like cloud formation or terraform. That will be comes in the last. Initially we will go and click in the console. Okay, and we will be bringing up later. We will see how we can bring the services up with Python. Then we will see how we can bring up the service using cloud formation. Okay, this is the workshop. So we will be starting from the very scratch when it comes to AWS.
Yeah, I got it. So basically, you are starting from manual step, then you will automate the infrastructure, right?
Correct. Hmm.
Okay. So ECR also come into the picture, that container registry, right?
Correct. ECR will also come into picture. Like we will be building a Docker image, then we will, instead of like publishing it directly into Docker Hub, we will be publishing the image into ECR. With that image, we will be running our ECS. Okay.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, actually, I am part of infrastructure, so I know a bit infrastructure part.
Okay. Fine.
Okay,
So
thank
you are
you, thank you.
dealing with structured and semi-structured only, right, Libin?
Yeah, it is structured and streaming. We are having both. We'll be learning about like structured streaming as well as
Hmm. Semi-structured, JSON file. Okay.
correct. Yeah. We will not be processing kind of like we don't have any images or like videos to process. Okay, we'll not be processing that.
Not required, I think. I don't have unstructured data requirements.
Okay.
Only I need to deal with JSON, XML,
Yeah.
SQL,
That.
and streaming and batch only.
Okay.
Data
Yeah.
engineering and data warehouse. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, data governance principles. I'm expecting. So the course content we went through. I think how much? What is the duration to cover that? I think it is huge actually.
So it is like we are expecting it is like more 45 hours and less than 50 to 55 hours. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, even it is going to be extended a few more hours. We don't have any concern because make sure we have to complete it.
So the problem it is like I am should be completing within 45 hours. Okay. So
Okay,
it's based on progress, how we progress. Okay. So it's like obviously it will be more than 45 hours. Okay. So I,
sure, sure. What are the timings? Class timings daily?
That like the Visualpath coordinator, no, they will get, I mean, let you know, Satya, about the timings, and when the batch will start, all the information they will let you know.
Okay.
Okay. They are asked for your, I mean, email address and contact number in the chat. Okay, so you can share it with them. So
Yes,
they
yes,
will.
I already shared. I already shared. So make sure not to have during working hours. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah, you can inform them about the same. So
Sure, sure.
they,
Surely, sure.
yeah. Okay. Any other doubts or clarifications required? Okay. Yeah. If you guys don't have any other questions regarding the course, then we can wind up the session.